A24 is back with Warfare. Warfare may ultimately be one of my favorite movies of 2025. A realistic war movie based on real experiences in Iraq, as told and written by Ray Mendoza. Ray Mendoza was a Navy SEAL and ultimately is the director and writer of this film. And as you watch this movie, you are getting to see what him and the soldiers that fought alongside him experienced. Now, what makes this movie so interesting, and for me it felt like what war would actually be like, was the scenes, the way it sounded. The sound in this film alone should win an award. When you're listening to the ringing of the gun sounds, it was not loud. It sounded realistic. And I think they did an excellent job with highlighting a realistic situation. Now, as you watch this, you're really seeing the brotherhood that is needed. You're seeing the challenges of being a soldier. As I've said before, I have a lot of members of my family that have served and fought in war. And when you're seeing things like this and listening to the stories or seeing interviews of former soldiers, for me, this film shows what war is like in a way. Now, you have other movies that exist. You have Saving Private Ryan, amongst others, that are highlighting war and the dangers. But there was just something about Warfare in particular that stands out. And it's just that you felt that you were in the movie fighting alongside them. And you felt that as you're watching the scenes change, that each scene that goes by, you are more engulfed by the story being told. Now, what I really do appreciate is that Mendoza goes out and brings in these stories, but it's based on testimonials of the soldiers he fought with or fought overseas during that time. And from what I read going into the film was he did this to ensure that the accuracy of the film was there. He wanted us as a viewer to have a realistic, accurate storytelling process where we can see events that take place. And I think that was done incredibly well. A24, I know this is from the directors of them, and I am a big fan of A24. I feel like this film in particular rebuilds their reputation when it comes to war-type movies. If you remember late last year, they released Civil War, and I will point out in many ways that Civil War was a disappointment. I thought there were a lot of gaps that needed to be filled in. I felt that when you're watching that film, you feel lost in many ways. And I also was not a fan of it being told from the perspective of a photographer. But when you look at Warfare, it is a complete improvement from what we saw there. The sound, like I said, alone, I still have that feeling of listening to it in the theater and thinking, that sounds like a real gun. Like you feel like you're really in warfare. As far as rating, Warfare for me is a 5 out of 5. It is an excellent movie. I think A24, Ray Mendoza, did an excellent job of bringing us a realistic story. I know that's been the common theme of this review, but that's what needs to be said. I enjoyed this movie. I highly recommend you go see it while it is out. Hopefully that this movie gets its full run. I don't want it to drop down to where maybe you get 2 showings a day at theaters. This deserves all the credit, all the accolades. It is an incredible movie. But Warfare is out now. Make sure you go check it out. Make sure to go check out the other reviews I have posted. Hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all later.